What kind of neighborhood asks ordinary citizens to become street corner nurses? In Kensington, Philadelphia, backpacks once filled with groceries, school books, or work tools are now packed with sterile gauze, saline, gloves, and clean bandages. Not because these men and women are doctors or emergency responders, but because they refuse to walk past someone whose pain cannot wait for the healthcare system to catch up. In one of America's most visible public health crises, compassion has quietly become the first line of care. Welcome to Homeless Life Stories. For many Americans, Kensington has become a symbol of addiction and homelessness. News headlines often focus on the neighborhood's struggles, showing only its most heartbreaking moments. But those headlines rarely capture what happens after the cameras leave. They seldom tell the story of neighbors who return every week carrying first aid kits instead of judgment. Former addicts who now use their own lived experience to comfort someone still trapped in the cycle they once escaped. Volunteers who understand that healing often begins with a simple question: can I help clean that wound? Today, we're exploring a side of Kensington that is rarely seen, a community where ordinary people have stepped forward to provide dignity, hope, and basic medical care when traditional systems cannot always reach everyone in time. This is not a story about strangers rescuing strangers. It is a story about neighbors refusing to let compassion disappear from their own streets. Because sometimes the most powerful medicine isn't found inside a hospital. Sometimes it begins with someone kneeling beside another human being, offering clean bandages, kind words, and the reminder that they have not been forgotten. If these stories move you, please subscribe to Homeless Life Stories. Together, we can shine a light on the people, the challenges, and the quiet acts of kindness that remind us what humanity truly looks like. Part 1. Context and Crisis. Kensington is often described as the epicenter of Philadelphia's addiction crisis, but that description tells only part of the story. Beyond the headlines are blocks where people experiencing homelessness, poverty, and serious health challenges live side by side with families who have called this neighborhood home for generations. Here, the effects of addiction are made even more severe by unstable housing, untreated medical conditions, and limited access to continuous health care. Sometimes the first step toward recovery is not a hospital bed or a housing application. It is a volunteer remembering someone's name. One of the greatest challenges facing Kensington today is the widespread presence of Xylazine in the street drug supply. Outreach workers report that many individuals require ongoing wound care that cannot be solved during a single emergency room visit. Recovery is rarely as simple as receiving treatment once. It requires trust, consistent medical attention, and a safe place to heal resources that are often missing from life on the street. That reality has created an extraordinary response. As gaps in traditional healthcare become more visible, ordinary residents, former addicts, faith groups, and volunteer outreach teams have begun carrying backpacks filled with bandages, saline, gloves, and clean socks. They are not replacing doctors or hospitals. They are helping people survive long enough to reach them. That reality has created an extraordinary response. As gaps in traditional healthcare become more visible, ordinary residents, former addicts, faith groups, and volunteer. To understand Kensington, we must first look beyond the assumptions that so often define it. People living on these streets are not simply facing addiction. Many are caught inside a cycle where homelessness, untreated illness, trauma, and isolation reinforce one another every single day. When someone has no safe place to sleep, keeping a wound clean becomes nearly impossible. When pain grows worse, finding the strength to seek help becomes even harder. The spiral continues, not because people lack the desire to recover, but because every step forward is met by another obstacle. They are not careless. They are trapped in a system where survival often takes priority over healing. A person may receive treatment in an emergency room, only to return that same night to a sidewalk or an encampment without clean water, a secure place to store medication, or a bed where recovery can begin. The treatment addresses the immediate crisis, but the conditions that caused it remain unchanged. That is why trust has become one of the most valuable forms of medicine in Kensington. Volunteers who return week after week begin by remembering names, listening without judgment, and offering practical care before asking difficult questions. A clean bandage may seem small, but it tells someone they have not been forgotten. Often, that simple act becomes the first step toward accepting medical treatment, housing assistance, or recovery support. Sometimes healing begins long before a hospital trial begins, when another human being chooses to stop, kneel down, and care. Part 3. Faces and the day. No one grows up dreaming of sleeping on a sidewalk or waiting for a stranger to clean a painful wound. Behind every person in Kensington is a life that looked very different before hardship took hold. Some once worked in construction, restaurants, warehouses, or retail stores. Others raised families, paid mortgages, or cared for aging parents. Their stories did not change overnight. They changed through a series of setbacks and injury, the loss of a job, rising housing costs, untreated trauma, or addiction that slowly closed every door around them. For many, the day begins with a search not for comfort, but for survival. Morning means finding clean water, locating an outreach team, or hoping someone has fresh socks, a bottle of saline, or enough supplies to change a bandage. Every small act of care can determine whether a wound begins to heal or grows more dangerous. As evening falls, another challenge begins. Without a safe place to rest, keeping wounds clean becomes even harder. Rain, cold sidewalks, and constant movement undo much of the progress made during the day. Many carry everything they own inside a single backpack. It holds clothing, medication, family photographs, important documents, and the few personal belongings that remain. It is more than Lugagite is the last piece of stability they have left. This is not only a story about surviving another day. It is about protecting the hope that tomorrow can still be different. Part 4. Locked doors and light. The greatest obstacles in Kensington are often invisible. A person may be ready to rebuild their life, yet recovery can stall without identification, a permanent address, reliable transportation, or a safe place to heal. Without an address, scheduling follow-up appointments becomes difficult. Without secure storage, medications can be lost or stolen. Without stable housing, even the best treatment plan can unravel within days. This is not a personal failure. It is a cage built from barriers that reinforce one another. Yet, in the middle of those barriers, small lights continue to shine. Prevention Point. Philadelphia brings street-based outreach directly to people who might never walk into a clinic, offering wound care, health resources, and pathways toward longer-term support. Alongside them, Savage Sisters Recovery sends peer outreach workers, many with lived experience, who understand that trust cannot be rushed. They arrive with food, hygiene supplies, clean bandages, and, just as importantly, conversations free of judgment. Sometimes the first step toward recovery is not a hospital bed or a housing application. It is a volunteer remembering someone's name, changing a bandage with gentle hands, and quietly saying, "We'll be back tomorrow." From one conversation grows trust. From trust comes connection. From connection, the possibility of healing begins to take shape. Part 5. Hope plus outros. Hope in Kensington rarely arrives all at once. More often, it begins with moments so small they can easily be overlooked. A wound that finally starts to heal, a familiar outreach worker returning as promised, or someone deciding to accept help after months of saying no. Recovery is rarely a straight line. It is built one conversation, one medical appointment, one safe night's sleep, and one act of trust at a time. The people who carry backpacks filled with bandages are not claiming they can solve homelessness or addiction on their own. They understand that lasting change requires affordable housing, accessible healthcare, mental health support, and long-term recovery services. But they also know that while larger solutions continue to develop, compassion cannot wait. Every clean bandage, every warm meal, and every respectful conversation reminds someone that their life still has value. A city is not measured only by its skyline or its economy. It is measured by how it responds when its most vulnerable neighbors need care. So we leave you with this question: if every community had more people willing to stop, listen, and help. How many lives might begin to change before the next crisis ever begins? If this story touched your heart, please subscribe to Homeless Life Stories, share this documentary, and let others know that compassion is contagious. In this moment, we offer a quiet prayer for every person experiencing homelessness in Kensington. May you find safety in the days ahead. May gentle hands reach out to you with kindness. May the weight you carry begin to lighten. And may a warm, stable home soon welcome you back. Thank you for staying with us until the very end.